Hey.
Hey,
Get
how are
myself.
you this evening?
I'm fine. Sorry, I'm seeing Ashley's note that she just joined by accident. I don't know what that means.
But happy to be here. Hello, everyone. If you are joining us, we are going to be talking about Little Fires Everywhere, episode 6, The Uncanny. Oh my goodness. A different episode
I was
this
going to
one.
say, I was trying to process before we started even what I would talk about, and I feel like it's a different series.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Well, before we get started, what are you reading, Jan?
So I am in the middle of Maggie Downs's Braver Than You Think, which is her memoir. She decided to travel the world after her mother had Alzheimer's and had started getting progressively worse. And Maggie Downs realizes that her mother never got to live out these dreams that she had of traveling the world and seeing all these sights. And Downs decides that she is going to do it. She is going to
Children.
do that instead. And so I'm still at the beginning, but it's interesting. So, right, basically, she had her honeymoon, and then her husband went home, and she started traveling the world. And so far, it is great. It's really compelling. It's really well written. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's great
Oh,
so far. Yeah. So, what
that
are you
sounds really
reading?
good.
It's really good.
I I'm reading Beach Read, and
Okay.
it is really good. So I really am loving it. I just started it, and it kind of captured my attention right away. So I'm happy about that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that book so much. You're gonna
Yeah.
love it, Sarah. Oh, I'm so excited.
I know. I can't wait to finish. I mean, I can't wait to get more into the story, but I'm really liking it so far.
Yeah.
So let's just get started.
Sure.
What were your overall impressions of this episode?
I mean, I liked it, but I do feel as if I think part of it is because Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon are so much the anchors of the series. And the fact that they really weren't in this episode made it feel entirely different. I think the actresses who play them as younger people, as younger women, are
Mm-hmm.
great. And there
Yeah.
are some mannerisms that I really appreciated. I don't know that I felt like it was needed because I felt like the show had already. There were a couple of things about Mia that I felt like we needed to know, and there was one big
Mm-hmm.
thing about Elena that we needed to know. I don't know that I felt like a whole flashback episode was needed, but I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I don't know. What did
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah, it's kind of the same. I thought that like you said, I thought that the actresses who played them young, like Mia and Elena younger, as younger women, I thought that they did a really good job of replicating some of this exact same like facial
Mm-hmm.
expressions, especially the actress who plays younger Mia. Some of the same things that they did with like their forehead and like
Yeah.
the pursed lips and different things. I was like, wow, they really are, they are having the same like facial expressions and all that. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was really interesting. Yeah, I don't know that I was totally absorbed in this. I felt I was ready for it to get
Yeah.
through. I thought there were some really powerful moments, and I thought there were some things that just seemed extra that we didn't really need. So basically the same as you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we share a brain.
So what were the things that worked for you during the episode? And please feel free to chime in if you are watching it. Yes. So Caroline said young Mia nailed it. I
Mm-hmm.
agree.
I thought she was great. And I
Yeah.
thought young Elena too, there were a couple of things that were so Reese Witherspoon, and yet she did a good job showing she felt less brittle than
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon is playing Elena. And I think you saw her sort of bridge that gap between, she has 3 kids, she's ready to go back to work,
Mm-hmm.
and but still she's so fresh and shiny and just excited. And then there's something that changes in her demeanor, in her affect, that I thought
Yeah.
the actress did a great job portraying. um I mean, I thought that showing first of all, I have to say that Mia's brother Warren is played by an actor who I really like, who was in Cloak and Dagger, a Marvel superhero show that I really liked. And I really liked that actor. And I thought he was great in just the short amount of time he had on camera. And I thought you believed, or I believed, how close they were. And so you could understand what the loss of him and then the loss of Pauline would do to drive her to make the decision that she made. So I thought this sort of mystery surrounding Pearl's father that they've been building to the whole series, I thought that was done well. Again, like you said, I just don't know that it needed to be a whole episode.
Yeah.
But I thought that that portion of it was done well. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but.
Yeah, it does. And I think the biggest thing, like after Warren died and she went home and her parents wouldn't let him go to the funeral, in that moment when her mom said, you need to find another way to honor him, I think that was one of the moments where like you said, you understood what Mia's motivation was in keeping the baby. I mean, I still think it's a pretty tricky, I still think there's a lot of things that you could talk about in terms of that and that decision and just some of her other motivations, as she gets older with BB and all of that. I think it's really complicated, but but it does help you understand her a bit better, because I think, like I've said in the other discussions we've had, I think it feels like a lot of the other episodes have kind of pegged her more as a villainous character. And I don't think that is how the book portrayed her. It seemed more nuanced in the book, like we said last time. So it was nice to see some of the motivation.
And I thought too, showing that when she agreed to be a surrogate, that she was a virgin and that she was so inexperienced. And then you see just how she grew during that time period. That's really only a couple of years. Yeah. I think that was really powerful. I really like that. And I thought, this was not my favorite part, but I will just say I had a colicky baby, and watching Elena struggle, he was my first. Watching Elena struggle with 4 kids and with Isabel, who clearly is a challenging baby. And I thought the whole thing with Jamie was ridiculous, but I thought, man, I have been there. I have been in that place where my husband's at work and I'm here with this kid and I don't know what to do to make him stop crying. And yes. I mean, I thought that was done really well for anyone, for any parent who has been in that situation.
Yeah, I thought that was too. And I thought I thought the actress did a really good job of portraying that kind of anguish. And when she throws the china down on the floor, I feel like a lot of times, as when you're a mother or a grown-up and dealing with hard things, that a lot of I feel like you can relate to that. Yeah. Just wanting to do something. And, I felt like I was with her right there. Yeah. The Jamie stuff was not my favorite. No. But I did, but I was glad to know what had happened, because they kept alluding to it in the other episode, but I felt like that whole thing was ridiculous. And I mean, I think you're with Elena because you see how stretched thin she is, and then how much she just wants to go back to work, and she feels like she doesn't have any choices and all of that. And you're with her. It's just like when they're in, present day. Yeah. You're with her, and then she does this thing, and you're like, I'm not with you anymore. Yeah. You're totally Yes. I mean, because when she told him that he took advantage of her and all this stuff. I mean, he was bewildered
in a hard moment, and I was like, "Come on."
I mean, she sought him out. Yeah. I mean, I thought that whole thing was really preposterous.
But you're right, because it's if it's 100%, you're with her to 95%. And then the last 5% of what she does, you're just like, what? No. Yeah. I was wanting to throw things.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's something that didn't work. Do you have any other things that didn't work or worked?
No, I mean, nothing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at all my notes. Nothing that was wrong. I just felt like that could have been cut in half lengthwise
Yeah,
and been just
I agree.
fine. And so I
What do
don't
you all think?
know. Mhm.
Did you? I was looking to see if
Oh
anybody
yeah,
else like
I'm
what
wondering
they
if
liked
anybody.
the episode or.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it wasn't that it was. There was it didn't move us forward in the
Mm-mm.
plot, and so then I would want it to be even more revelatory than it was.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they've done a pretty good job of getting us backstory so far. And so then to depart completely from that structure to give us this whole episode of backstory, I wanted every minute to be packed. And it just
Yeah.
didn't feel like that. So I don't want to be so critical as to say the episode didn't work. I just felt like that you've only got so much runtime for the whole series, and I want them to use every minute of that really efficiently, because I
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot of present day stuff that can take some time to work out. And so I'm
Yeah.
hoping that they left enough time to do it.
Yeah, because we only have 4 episodes, right? Left.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, I
there's
started
only
to get
10.
a little like, here are all the things that have to happen. I do want to
Yeah.
say one more thing that did work. We have talked a lot about the soundtrack. The use of
Oh.
Bitch, the song Bitch, at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every time they do that at the end of an episode, it doesn't matter
Yes.
what happened before. I'm like all in.
Yeah, same. And
It's
I
so
love
good.
that whole ending. Like, I thought that ending was super powerful to show them grow it, like the whole thing until they get to Shaker Heights. I thought that was really impactful. And with that song playing in the background,
Oh
I
my
mean, they
gosh, I
could
have
fill that
goosebumps
soundtrack
right
with all
now.
those
Yeah.
slow 90s, slow 90s, like new arrangements. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
It is
Yeah.
the perfect song for sure.
It was
So good.
amazing. Just every beat of it, every lyric, and the fact that it's slowed down and you have to, and I watch with subtitles. So I'm reading it and hearing it and watching it, and yeah, it's really good. So that also worked for me.
Yeah, I like that was my favorite scene of the whole show was
Yeah.
at the end. And I have to say, because all the other episodes have started with a flashback, I kept thinking, okay, when are they because I was like, is this just an extended flashback? And
Yeah.
then clearly after it was like
At a certain point,
15 minutes in, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a whole flashback.
I thought maybe they were going to do one flashback scene with each of them, like an extended flashback with both, and then flip. And then at a certain point, I was like, oh no, this is
just a flashback.
Where we are.
Yeah. And I have to say, I just have to shout out the guy from the Subway, the man. I can't remember his name. I can't remember the character's name. Jesse. Wasn't that his name on Jesse's his name on Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I was just gonna say I loved him on Grey's Anatomy.
Joe and Maddie are
Joe. That's right. Joe. Yes. Yeah. So I really, I mean, I like that scene with them. But it's heartbreaking. It's just like with them, it was heartbreaking, just like with Linda and Mark. Mm-hmm. It's just so heartbreaking because you can see the multiple sides, and it's heartbreaking both ways.
Well, and in that scene where she realizes that Elena's pregnant again, and they clearly have had another miscarriage and have not shared that with Bill and Elena.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah, they do some nice character development with secondary characters that I really like.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess our last category is favorite scene, which we've talked a bit about that. Yeah. I mean, I think my favorite scene is the end. I think because I love that music so much and the way that it kind of unfolds.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite too. All right, so if I have to pick a second favorite.
Caroline said that I didn't love that she had the affair with her professor. I don't remember that from the book.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't remember that from the book either, but I also am pretty far removed from the book. I didn't remember that. I mean, I remembered her contacting the lady at the gallery, but I don't remember the Patricia character. But
I mean, the one thing I liked about that was it made sense why she had hung on to that painting or the photo for so long, and then why it broke her heart so much to sell it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I think the actress, Anika Noni Rose, who plays the professor, is so good. I really like
Yeah.
her. But yeah, I don't know that I have another favorite scene.
Carolyn says that I think it was a mentor, but in the book they were a couple that helped her. It was a couple.
The artist and gallery owner.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I thought the whole discussion at the beginning of the uncanny and then the definition that that's a class of the terrifying that leads back to something long known to us and very familiar. And then when you see the way that for each of them they return to something, you know, when Mia goes home for Warren's funeral and has stayed away for so long, I think that is really impactful. And I think Elena has those moments too with Bill and with her mother, that you just see the way both of them are sort of pulled back and then are reacting against that in different ways. With Mia, it's that she has to leave so much to escape it. And with Elena, it's that she just feels trapped there and she feels like she can't go anywhere, which I think really epitomizes the difference between the two characters. I mean, I think you just see when they are scared, when they, what they do. One retreats and one runs, which I think is interesting. And I'm not sure that stays the same, but, oh, hi, Jill. Jill is saying hi.
No.
Dealing with kiddos. Yeah, I warned my husband before I came back here that he was going to have to deal with ours because they still have like a list of things they need to do tonight. So we'll see how
one of mine already came in, so. Yeah, I just didn't feel like there was a lot to dissect in this episode as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I thought the scenes between Warren and Mia, I thought were really powerful. I thought that, like you said, I thought that they really helped kind of flesh out why Mia was making the decisions she did. Mm-hmm. And I also like that moment when Warren is leaving and he talks about the baby and he says, I just saw it. Well, just his encouragement to keep the baby and then it kind of sets it up for knowing that that he's not going to make it and that's going to be part of her decision-making process.
Yeah, that was really sad.
Anybody else have anything to add? There's just not as much to talk about this episode, I don't think. I think
did you all who are watching like the episode, or so we didn't love the affair? I just wonder if they'll do more. I can't imagine what else they would cover.
Yeah.
And will they continue doing flashbacks at the beginning of future episodes at all? Or
I mean, I just feel like that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like they covered everything they need to cover in order to. Oh,
interesting.
That is interesting.
Caroline says she likes it better than the present day.
Yeah.
I feel like I want her to be on IG Live and we can do like an interview because I want to know why. You'll have to tell us all the things because, that's interesting. And was there that much backstory? How much of the novel was devoted to backstory and how much is present day? We'll just do an interview. It'll be great. Answer all our questions.
So I guess we will go to our Give Me One. It's short and sweet today. Our Give Me One today is, since we are firmly rooted in this episode we were in the 80s, but I do agree with that. I definitely think that the younger characters were more not the word is not likable, but you could empathize with with their choices a lot better. I agree with that for sure.
I do too.
I mean, I think the way Mia is portrayed in the present day is really difficult. It is difficult to empathize with her as a character for me.
And Elena too. I have a really hard time with Elena and some of the
same. Yeah,
and
same.
I think she made some really bad choices in this episode as well. But you can follow the path of her thought process better than the now. Now I feel like she's just so entrenched in what she's doing that she can't even
Yeah.
question. She doesn't even have to recognize what she's doing half the time.
Yeah. No, that whole scene with Jamie last episode was just so, I mean, she's just very self-serving, and it's hard to empathize with that. But then when they're younger, you definitely see those kind of, yeah, I mean, like, I think seeing like the families, their families, the mothers, like Elena's mother and Mia's mother, I think it's easy to see why they made the choices they made.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's finish up with a Give Me One. And our Give Me One, since we're in the 90s, and well, in this episode we were in the 80s, but in the 90s, let's do our favorite show from the 90s. And feel free to join in.
I am very excited about this one. So my favorite was quite short run, but it is My So-Called Life, which I love. Yeah, I love the angst and the grunge and Jared Leto. And yeah, I just thought that show is perfection. I think it's just great. So I don't know if any other 90s babies out there have watched it, but I remember watching it and like being so sad and mournful that it was not continuing, and I needed to know what else was happening. Yes, yay, Sara. Yeah, and I think Angela Chase is just this great character. I love the portrayal of the parents. I just think it is a great, great show. So, did you watch it, Sara?
I didn't. Because we couldn't get, like, because we had the very limited cable.
Oh yeah, we did too. I watched it in college when I had it.
Okay,
yeah, because I didn't.
So like I graduated from high school in '97, so I kind of I just kind of missed it. But yeah,
so I graduated from high school. I think we did this last time, but in '94. Yeah, my freshman year, it was on MTV, like, and I binged it. I have it on DVD. Should you want to borrow the entire series?
Ooh, I think I would like it. I mean, I remember when Claire Danes was in Romeo and Juliet. And Broke Down Palace and all that, and I loved her. And then, I mean, Jared Leto